And Emilio, did you ever think at the time that many of your co-stars on The Outsiders would have such bright careers in the future? Because all of you just went on to incredible things afterwards.
Right. No,
young.
it's not, sure. I mean, it's not something that you're really paying attention to at the time. You're just a bunch of guys. Most of those guys you're competing against for a lot of the same roles. And in fact, we talk about it in the book. And I think Rob Lowe did too. He detailed the audition process, which was unlike anything I'd have ever been a part of, where actors are in a stage this size and all competing against one another and reading different roles and being able to sit in the same room and watching the other actors go through their paces was something that was nerve-wracking, but also incredibly exciting.
He filmed it.
He filmed all that, yeah, yeah. So for my part, no, it was, there was a sense that all these guys were going to work, that we'd all see each other again. But there was no idea that a lot of these guys would go on to have these extraordinary careers, no.
And could you share a funny story or two about The Breakfast Club and St. Elmo's Fire? And why did these two films and The Outsiders, you think, help define a generation in the 1980s?
I have no idea. You know, these are a couple of films that continue to stand the test of time. They transcend generations. And, you know, I'll have 40-year-old, 50-year-old folks coming up to me and saying, I love The Breakfast Club, I watch it all the time. And then a 16-year-old will say, I just saw it. And I'm thinking, I made that movie 25 years ago, man. And yet it still resonates. It still holds some... and so how many actors have an opportunity to have a couple of those films on their resume, movies that stand the test of time? And I've been very fortunate to have a couple. The interesting thing about being an actor and ending up, and I like to say ending up in films, is because when you're a young actor, you don't necessarily choose the movies. They kind of choose you. That week that I got hired for The Breakfast Club, I probably went up for a couple of auditions for TV, a Burger King commercial, and God knows how many other auditions, maybe 20 auditions that week. The Breakfast Club and casting director said yes. John Hughes said yes. And you sort of, you end up in these movies because you didn't get hired for something else, and it made you available for it. So that's, you know, it's interesting when you hear critics, journalists talk about, well, you made that choice, and how could you make that choice? And so many of your choices are not made by you.
It's made for you.
They're made by fate, they're made by economics, they're made by a multitude of reasons for why you ended up in that movie.